Advocate for widespread mail-in ballots. 56 days before an election. They don't really seem to care about the risks of fraud and those possibilities. Some completely deny that fraud even exists. And by the way, they're once again lying to you, the American people, just like on Russia, just like on obstruction and quid pro quo Joe. Look at the Heritage Foundation. There have been 1,285 proven cases of voter fraud in America. Look at the state of New Jersey. One city councilman, 3 others recently charged with a mail-in voter fraud scheme. Also, mail-in ballot fraud in North Carolina. That resulted in a new election. 2018, 4 cases of illegal mail-in voting schemes in Texas. That caused 2 elections to be overturned. In Georgia's June primary, 1,000 people illegally voted twice. And the New York Post just conducted a shocking interview with the top Democratic operative who spent a career committing voter fraud, mail-in voter fraud, as a matter of fact. Look at the Post. Quote, he not only changed ballots himself over the years, but led teams of fraudsters and mentored at least 20 operatives in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. This is how you want the 2020 election decided, because make no mistake, this is exactly what the Democrats are now pushing for. Here with more, former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer, along with former Arkansas governor, Fox News contributor Mike Huckabee. Ari, 1,285, nearly 1,000 convictions. That would say there's a real danger.
It is a real danger, Sean, and what we all have to fear on election night is states particularly that have never done it before and now have ballot harvesting. Ballot harvesting is really the biggest problem out there, because what it means is it's licensing people from the parties, and it's particularly the Democrat Party that does this, to go out and subject voters to possible intimidation, to collect votes, and if they collect votes from a Republican area, not turn them in, from a Democrat area, round them up and turn them in. There's no accountability, there's no tracing or tracking on these ballots once they're collected. That's a real problem. The other, just to be quick, is states that have deadlines way too close to election day to apply for your absentee ballot. You won't get it in time. And then all the lawyers are going to be empowered to demand to count every vote, even the ones that came in after election day.
I've seen a lot of elections in my lifetime, 33 years in radio governor, and I'm in my 25th year here at Fox. I've never seen an alignment of the left against one person more than this president. Now, we saw it in 2016. How do you read this?
I think it's important to note that there's no enthusiasm whatsoever for Joe Biden. It's just that they hate Donald Trump and they want to do anything they can to keep him from being elected. And frankly, they don't care who gets elected as long as it isn't Donald Trump. But what Ari said, and by the way, I love Ari. I think he's one of the most important and helpful people to the president. He's always spot on, and even his.
By the way, he's okay, Governor. Right? You know, we kind of like him. You know,
he's a great guy. Right. No, he's terrific. I love being on with him. But I wanted to just mention that
checks in the mail.
In the past. We'll make it a big one.
We don't want to hear the rest.
Worried about people voting from the graveyard. You know, I have to be honest with you. There were times in Arkansas I used to say that if you can't get the cemetery vote, there's no way you can win. Now it's not a matter of the people who are dead. It's a matter of how many people are going to vote more than once, because they're going to get a ballot in a lot of places. They'll be voting people from nursing homes and very senior centers, all sorts of ways. And that's what I think we need to be worried about. Donald Trump has to have an army of people to go vote. And ideally, go vote in person. And if the river is flooding, swim the river at flood stage, but do not sit this one out.
I'm going, baby. I'm going.
My advice, Ari, is simple. Poll watchers everywhere. They double checking signatures, making sure, lawyers everywhere. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he also needs an army of lawyers. They're going to need an army of lawyers to go up against the Democrat army of lawyers. And I hate this, Sean, because I went through the recount in 2000. This is not good for the country if we have a disputed race. But take a look at what happened in the 2008 race between Al Franken in Minnesota and Norm Coleman. Norm Coleman won on Election Day. And then through Democrat lawyers, they started to engineer every kind of trick in the book, change that you could find. 25 precincts in Minneapolis had more ballots cast than there were voters registered. And when it was brought to the attention of the judge looking at the recount, he said, there's nothing we can do about it. It's too late. We can't uncount those votes. Donald Trump and the Republicans better have that army of lawyers ready to go toe-to-toe with the Democrat lawyers who are going to try to, ex post facto, change every rule in the book to give themselves the advantage.
30 seconds, Governor. And by the way, we're looking at live pictures of Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews, if right there. Governor?
Well, the simple thing is, once again, Ari is right. This is one of the few times that I'm really going to be hoping for lots of lawyers. Normally, I think the fewer the better. But in this case, on Election Day, calling all lawyers who are fair-minded and hopefully Republican, be on the lookout and stand up and be counted.
I don't want my lawyers to hear this, but you know what you call a lawyer at the bottom of an ocean. Ouch. All right. Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Coming up, left-wing protesters continue to harass people, literally stealing their